students. I'm Dr. Nidhi Sharma, Associate Professor, p.g.govt.college, Rajasthan. In this part of the muscular system, I shall tell you further about the specialized organs of skeletal muscle. The first specialized organ being the sarcoplasmic reticulum SR. This is a type of endoplasmic reticulum. It surrounds each myofibril running parallel to it. It stores calcium. When stimulated, calcium diffuses into sarcoplasm. The second specialized organelle of the skeletal muscle is transverse tubule, which is denoted by TT. This extends into sarcoplasm as invaginations and is continuous with sarcolemma. T tubules run between cisternae of sarcoplasmic reticulum. T tubules are filled with extracellular fluid. Cisternae of sarcoplasmic reticulum and T tubules form a triad near where thick and thin muscles filaments overlap, which will be shown in the next figure. In this figure, you can see the relationship of the sarcoplasmic reticulum and T tubules to the myofibrils of skeletal muscles. Here, in this diagram, you can see the gray colored sarcolemma, which is the part of skeletal muscle fiber, and myofibrils protruding out. This one of the myofibrils or a bundle of the myofibrils have been elaborated in this diagram. Here you can see the sarcolemma, then the triad is depicted, then big orange colored mitochondria are seen, and tubules of sarcoplasmic reticulum can also be seen, which have been shown by the blue color. The terminal cisternae of the sarcoplasmic reticulum are also seen, and then in the end you can see the T tubule. When we come to explain, you can see that a sarcomere is from one Z disc to the other Z disc. Here you can see one I band alternating between an A band and then another I band. Within the A band, you can see the Z zone, which contains the M line. In the next slide, I shall tell you about the skeletal muscle contraction. Here, in order to understand the contraction of the skeletal muscle, we have to study the motor neuron. Motor neuron is actually a nerve cell that innervates the skeletal muscle tissue as shown in this figure. The yellow colored shows the motor neuron on the skeletal muscle bundle. The motor neuron contains dendrite and axon. The dendrite receives information An axon transmits information. Axon has vesicles containing neurotransmitters that will stimulate or inhibit muscle contraction. The neuromuscular junction is a site where branch of motor nerve ending, comes in contact with sarcolemma of skeletal muscle fiber. In this diagram, you can see the neuromuscular junction. Here we can see the sarcolemma or of muscle fiber directly beneath motor nerve endings contains an abundance of mitochondria and nuclei. Here, this is the neuromuscular junction. Here you can see the axon terminal, which is shown by a purple line. And when the purple line is actually the nerve impulse traveling, it comes into the synaptic vesicle containing acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter. The synaptic bulb has been cut open, and then the synaptic cleft is actually a space. There are calcium ions and a voltage gated calcium channel is generated through which the calcium ions pass. You can see the sacrolemma and the motor end plate. The motor end plate has sacrolemma of muscle fiber directly beneath motor nerve ending and contains an abundance of mitochondria and nuclei. This is an electron microscopic structure showing picture, or you can say a photograph showing the nucleomuscular junction, wherein you can see the blood capillaries, the axon collateral branch, the somatic motor neuron, the axon collateral branch, the synaptic end bulbs, the axon terminal, synaptic end bulbs, and the skeletal muscle fiber. Now, what is a synapse? Synapse is a junction between the axonal end of one neuron and the dendrite of another neuron or membrane of another cell type. What is a synaptic cleft? Synaptic cleft is a separation that exists between the axonal ending of the motor nerve and the sarcolemma of the muscle fiber. The axon ending contains vesicles of neurotransmitter. What is a neurotransmitter? A neurotransmitter is a chemical substance released from vesicles in the motor nerve ending, that is, axonal ending. The main neurotransmitter is acetylcholine, which is also depicted as ACH. This is released by motor neurons. When stimulated by a nerve impulse, ACH is released, travels across the synaptic cleft, and binds receptors on the motor end plate. This stimulates contraction of the muscle. In the next part, I shall tell you about the sliding filament theory.